Yeah, like maybe to add something like a bit unique to this conversation, like I think one way to think of scale is actually in terms of time. So Optiver has been around for about 40 years, a little more than 40 years actually. So we've built up a lot of tribal knowledge in our code base over a long period of time. Where, and I think many companies, you see this, right? Where like you learn something, a change gets made to the code base. Maybe the person who made that doesn't remember 10 years later, or maybe that person is no longer at the company. And how do you kind of surface some of these code bases that have been around for years, if not decades, surface all of that context really to the agent that's then making code changes to your code base? Like that's a really challenging problem just in terms of like this, how this code base was built organically over a long period of time. And maybe an example I can use there is, we trade on, I said, over 100 exchanges globally. We get a spec, like a PDF, that kind of describes like the messages that we have to send to and from the exchange to trade on that exchange. But sometimes like our code is a better representation of that spec than the spec itself, right? Because like we've been trading in these exchanges, there might be some things that are not correct in the spec, or maybe not as specific in the spec as they are in our code base. So our code base is the source of truth for a lot of this tribal knowledge that we've built up over a long period of time. So surfacing that context at the right time to an agent that's making the code changes to our code base is just incredibly important. Otherwise, you need to get the one person in the company who really knows this thing the best, and we're moving to a world where, well, we don't want to do that. We want the person who doesn't have to be an expert in this, on this specific nuance of KRX to make that change. Like we want anybody to be able to make that change.